In this video, we're going to cover what you should be mining and why, if you need to shut off your rig and when, and how to properly determine whether or not your system is paid for, and approximately how long it would take to get paid off. Lately, because GPU prices have crashed, there seems to be a lot of people coming into mining for some reason. And everybody wants to know what the best coin is to mine. Other people have been talking about when to turn off their rigs, and hopefully today we are going to address some of those concerns. Now, if you're just coming into mining, I don't particularly think that that's a good idea unless it's a hobby or looking for something fun to do. As everyone knows, Ethereum is about to merge, and that has been the most profitable coin to mine for the last several years, give or take some gaps in between where one of the other coins has temporarily come above it, but that's a whole nother story. So having said that, the main problem is not just that Ethereum goes away, it's that the actual hash rate and mining power on Ethereum is literally, I think, even like 100 times as big as even the second most profitable coin or second coin that people would switch to. Say, like when you compare the hash rate on Ravencoin or Ergo, the Ethereum hash rate is massive. So as everyone is aware, or should be aware, that as more people join on these networks, the difficulty goes up and you will get less coin for the same hash as time goes on. So if a network the size of Ethereum, most of those people stay online, half those people stay online, even 10% of those people stay online, they could easily double, triple, 10 times any of those other networks, which would create an insane increase in difficulty, which means that the profitability of those coins would have to go down. Because with higher difficulty, you'll just be mining less and less. So unless the price of those other coins, those altcoins as they call them, unless that significantly goes up to at least match the influx of Ethereum miners coming over, there could be kind of a dark age. You can kind of see it happening now where, GPU prices are plummeting. There was a time when you could just flip GPUs where you could buy them and then resell them, and the price kept going up. But now it's kind of the opposite, where we're going to have the manufacturers and big places like Amazon are actually going to have GPUs in stock, and what that's going to do is they're going to be selling at retail, which means that all the used GPUs have to go below retail because nobody's going to buy a used GPU above what they can get for retail. So that's that's pretty much all of why the GPU market is plummeting. But just keep in mind that if you're joining mining now, that the Ethereum miners either have to shut down or go somewhere, and that is going to significantly impact or change the other networks by a lot. And yes, I know when you switch between the different algorithms that the hash rates aren't the same, but if you were to convert, the hash rate on Ethereum and take out the ASIC miners from Ethereum, which I don't even think it's half, but maybe it is, and then you convert that into some type of card. So, say you have like a 3080 that goes at about 100 mega hash. Take the hash rate of the Ethereum network that you think is actual miners, go ahead and divide that by 100. You can get pretty much how many 3080s are on that network, just an estimate for the hypothetical scenario here. Take those 3080s and then convert them to the network, whether it's Ravencoin or Ergo, however fast they go, and add that hash rate back into the network, and you can see quickly how big the Ethereum network has become and how much of an impact it will have on all those other altcoins. So that's a big unknown, which is why, unless you really have free electricity, or you're bored, or it's a hobby, or just want something to do, it's really not a good time to mine.
Least you can do is level with me. What are my chances?
Not good.
However, there are some things that we do need to address, mainly to help out the noobs that are coming on and some people that just don't quite get it. There seems to be way too much discussion on what the best coin to mine is, and it's a really simple topic. The best coin, we're going to have to assume you mean the most profitable, and there's no such thing as best coin short term and best coin long term. If you're going to mine to sell, then yeah, Ethereum is the most profitable, but if you're going to mine to hold long term, then you should do this other altcoin, and that is never ever going to make any sense, with some exceptions. But for the most part, you always farm the most profitable coin, and the reason that is because they have exchanges. So if you can farm, say, $1,000 of Ethereum but only $500 of Ravencoin, farm the $1,000 of Ethereum, convert it to Ravencoin. You have more Ravencoin than what you would have actually ended up mining had you switched into mining Ravencoin instead. So it's almost never ever is there going to be a long-term coin that you will farm to hold. But like I said, there are some exceptions, and those exceptions are maybe you want to actually do what crypto was designed for and stay anonymous, so you don't want to transfer your coin to an exchange and exchange it. Maybe you don't want to make an account at those exchanges. Other than that, the only other exception, and this is true for things like Vertcoin and some of the other coins, some of the exchanges don't have the coins readily available. For example, you can get Ravencoin through like Edge Wallet and some other exchanges, maybe like Crypto.com. But like I said, Vertcoin is really hard to find if it's exchanged anywhere. So if you really believe in a project and there's something that you want to mine for long-term value, it has to meet those conditions. You know, either it's a coin that you cannot exchange to, like the Vertcoin, or there's a lot of them that aren't supported by exchanges, or you're trying to remain anonymous and, you know, kind of what crypto was intended for, so you can do peer-to-peer transactions without like a third party. So unless you're mining those other coins long-term because you can't exchange, or you're trying to remain anonymous, there's absolutely no reason whatsoever why you would ever not mine the most profitable coin.
So just do it! Make your dreams come true!
And exchange it. It doesn't make any sense. You're always going to get more of that other coin mining the most profitable one. However, you do need to take into consideration the exchange fees, etc. I did a Bitcoin to Ravencoin transaction on Edge Wallet, and it is like a 2% fee. So it was like for $100.13 of Bitcoin, you could change that into like $97.43 worth of Ravencoin. So there is that fee. So if there are altcoins that you want, say, and they're within that range where, you know, they're within 2.7% or whatever that transfer exchange fee is, if that is close enough to the most profitable coin, then it makes more sense to mine those altcoins. But for the most part, there's nothing really even close to Ethereum, even with this downfall. Some things will spike ahead, but they have software like NiceHash or other things that will switch to those algorithms to get you the coins that are the most profitable. And the goal of that is so that you can, you know, well, besides make the most money, you can take the money that you're getting or the coin that you're getting, whether it's NiceHash, change it into BTC, and exchange that into the coins that you want. And you'll get more of them because you are mining the most profitable coin. So there's really no such thing as farm and hold these altcoins for the long term, because if you were to farm the most profitable coin and exchange it, those coins that you'd be holding for the long term, you would have even more of them doing the exchange. The second thing we're gonna talk about is when to shut down. Now, a lot of people have been saying, oh, I'm gonna be shutting down my rig. The electricity cost is more than what I'm mining. Some people are like, oh, you gotta mine through it and just pay for your electric.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
So it's just common sense. Like it's really basic math when to shut down. So if you are hobby mining and there is a specific project that you cannot buy or exchange to, for example, Vertcoin or other things, if there are things that you cannot take your electric money and buy because it's not available or not easy to do, or maybe you're under 18 and you're just mining for fun, maybe using your parents' electricity so much you pay it, but if you can't actually get an account to exchange or buy with that electric stuff, then it makes sense to keep on mining even if it's at a loss, because you can't get the coin otherwise. Other than that, if you are, say, paying $1,000 in electric and you're only currently mining $1,000 of Ethereum, it makes sense to continue to mine Ethereum, because when you go to take that $1,000 that you would pay on your electric and buy, there's some fees involved. So it's not exactly one-to-one, you know, there's going to be that 1 to whatever percent fee. But if you're only mining, say, $900 of current market value of Ethereum and your electric is 1,000, then you need to shut down your rig and buy the Ethereum instead. There's really no argument to be made against this. $1,000 of electric, if used to buy the Ethereum, gets you more Ethereum than the $900 worth that you are mining up. So there isn't an argument to be made. Your goal is to get the most Ethereum. So if you have to take the money you would be paying toward electric and convert that into Ethereum, then that's what you have to do, minus the random fees and transaction things and other exceptions to that. So having said all that, there are just those primary three reasons why you would continue mining when it doesn't make mathematical sense. And the first one, you know, not being able to have an account to actually buy the coin, or you don't want to put your info into the exchanges and you want to remain anonymous, perfectly fine, keep mining. 2, you don't want to move your coin from maybe a hardware wallet or some type of other wallet you have to an exchange to convert it, fine, continue mining. And then 3, the coin isn't easily accessible to exchange. So like I said, there's those things like Vertcoin, and I think Ergo was a little bit hard to buy, but there are some exchanges that have that. There's just things that are not very easy to exchange into, and by all means keep mining those coins in those examples. But if you're asking what the best coin to mine is, then you already haven't thought out about these other coins that you're mining. So what you probably mean is you're looking for the most profitable coins. So when people come back and say, hey, mine Ethereum if you're planning to sell, but for long term, mine this other stuff.
Oh, God! No, God, please, no! No!
No, that's not how it works. It is not how it works. Always mine the most profitable coin and exchange it if possible. And there are the exceptions that I said. That's it. There's no absolutely, like I said, I can't stress this enough. I keep seeing people make these recommendations, mine Ergo, mine Raven. No, absolutely not. Not while there's a more profitable coin where you can mine it in the same period, the same 24-hour period, and end up getting more Raven or more Ergo by exchanging it. It doesn't make any sense. So stop giving people that advice. Tell them to mine the most profitable coin and be done with it. There's no reason to set them up for any more failure than they already are going to have coming on with, a month away from the technical merge. So it's just best not to give them any bad ideas. Like I said, there are some exceptions. So the other thing that I want to talk about is a lot of people don't seem to understand what it means to be break even or pay off a rig.
Show me the money!
And they don't look at it the way that they probably should. And so they're really misleading themselves and not realizing how much money they actually are losing. So anytime that you are going to buy a mining rig or a piece of equipment to add to your mining rig, whatever you're mining, I don't care if it's Ethereum or whatever it is, you always take the USD value of that, say it's $10,000, and you convert it to how much of the coin you could have had, and you keep track of that, because that's what your base cost is for the system. So example, when I paid $10,000 a year, 2 years ago, and I bought a system, and Ethereum was at $1,000, my base cost of that system is the 10 Ethereum that I could have bought instead. $10,000 divided by 1,000 Ethereum, I would have had 10 Ethereum instead. That's my base cost. Because what I see happening is somebody will spend that $10,000 instead of buy the Ethereum. So say, for example, they put $10,000 into a mining rig, Ethereum was $1,000, they end up mining 2 Ethereum, right? Over whatever period of time, say it's 6 months or whatever it turns out to be. So now they have 2 Ethereum, and the price of Ethereum rises to $5,000. Well, their 2 Ethereum times $5,000 is $10,000. That's exactly what they paid for the rig. So they think, hey, I just paid off my rig. But what they're failing to understand is if they would have bought Ethereum instead, they would have 10 Ethereum. So when that Ethereum rises to $5,000, they would have had 10 Ethereum or $50,000.
Show me the money!
So instead of having $50,000, they have $10,000, and they're walking around talking about how their rig is paid off and they made their money back. No, you didn't. You lost $40,000 in that example. You are 8 Ethereum short of your mining rig getting to where you should have been. You cannot convert something that you're mining into USD, and most people don't even sell when it does at 5,000. They just hold it anyways, and then maybe it plummets back. But it doesn't make any sense to use USD values when the $10,000 of USD was worth 10 Ethereum maybe for this example, and then all of a sudden you keep using USD values and 2 Ethereum's worth that. But like I just said, if you would have just bought the Ethereum, you'd have $40,000 more in that example. So no, your system is not really paid off. I mean, it's paid off in the sense that if you sold, you'd have the same money you put into it. But what that means is you made a terrible investment. That's how you're going to gauge it. Like you lost $40,000 of opportunity cost. So you have to keep that in mind whenever even you add a piece of equipment. Say Ethereum did go up to $5,000 and you're adding, a 3090 for whatever they are now, 1,200, 1,500, I don't know what they are, but say you're adding that. You take that $1,200 or $1,500 and you go and pretend that how much Ethereum can I buy at 5,000? Maybe it's like a little less than a third of Ethereum. You have to add that to your cost basis. Otherwise, using USD is going to set you up for failure every time, because what you're really looking at is using that system to get the coins or the tokens, whatever it is you're getting. And that's the metric you should use to determine whether or not it's paid off. And that should also be your base cost, because instead of buying that system or adding that card or adding that component, you could just go ahead and outright buy the coin instead. And that is the ultimate goal of mining, unless you're just using it for heat or something like that and you just want to run it. So keep that in mind when you're building and buying systems. You can use places like What to Mine to calculate what the current Ethereum or Raven, or whatever it is that you're mining, you can calculate about how much you can make per week. As I've been saying, it changes. So like when I started with Ethereum, it was like a 4 to 6 month payoff on everything you bought, like where it would mine enough Ethereum that you could have bought at the time. Now everybody's like, wow, that's a pretty impressive investment. So everybody started jumping on. I think since I started mining Ethereum, the network difficulty's gone up over 4 times, which means for the same hash rate, I'm getting a fourth of the coin. So as time went on, I earned less and less with the same system, and it made it really hard to get the true break-even point. You know, in USD way ahead, if you would have sold at any point when it went up to whatever, it went up to almost 4 grand. Now that it's back down to 1,700, you know, so many people aren't so ahead, and those same people that mined the 2 Ethereum that thought their system was paid off are now, they probably didn't sell, so now they're looking at having 2 Ethereum worth $3,400 compared to the 10,000 they spent in it, and reality's kind of sinking in that their system wasn't actually paid off. So the only time that your system is truly paid off is when you either mined the Ethereum that would have been your cost basis, the amount of USD you spent converted into the coin that you're trying to mine at the time of purchase. When your system mines that much, it's paid off. Or if you mined a portion of it, sold off your system, and then bought enough of that coin where it made your cost basis, you would still be where you would have been and hopefully ahead.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
So I hope that clears some things up. We gotta really stop misleading these people. And I know everybody wants to, like, you know, hold to the moon and whatnot, but like the main thing you need to take from this is the best coin to mine is always going to be the most profitable one. And besides the fluctuations where some coins will jostle back and forth, they do make software. I think MinerStat even had something where it would change to the most profitable algorithm. NiceHash does it, but they take a fee. So you always want to mine the most profitable and convert it into the cheaper, lesser altcoins or whatever it is that you're trying to get. It's always going to make so much more sense. You can't tell these guys to mine something they can exchange to. Like I get if you can't exchange or buy the coins easily, but a lot of the coins that I see people naming, they are exchangeable. So when you can mine double the profit of these altcoins in Ethereum, whatever it may be, and convert it, you're going to get almost double of the coin that you would have been mining, that they would have been mining that you told them to go mine. So we got to stop that and get people on the right track. So I hope you enjoy this, and if there's other things you want to add to kind of make this like a nice question and answers for everybody, then go ahead and leave comments below, and let's help these guys out.